Ro.creating. Welcome. So I have my bench made. I've loads of storage, I've all that bits sorted away there, and I think the first thing I wanted to do then was make it user friendly and allow myself. I was thinking having tools underneath, and wouldn't it be nice to have them plugged in permanently? So I was thinking what I'd do is put an extension lead there, take out a hole from the countertop, and allow myself to plug in things from underneath. Then you don't have flexes all over the place on the top of the counter. So I started off by taking, I think it was a 2.5 inch hole out, and the portable drill really wasn't cutting the mustard, so I decided to get myself my normal drill and drill it out with that, and in fairness that made short work of it. An awful lot more power. And a trick that I found out before was when you're drilling out a hole, especially out of something like plywood or something, it tends to get very stuck inside and it can be awkward to get out. So one of the things I learned how to do was screw a screw into your piece of wood. You can see it there, pull it out, and happy days, the problem is gone. So once the two holes were taken out, got myself my jigsaw, just straighten off those sides. And I'll have a nice oval slot, and I can put my plugs and my sockets and whatever underneath there. Took out the excess piece, got my file and my rasp, and just sort of cleaned it up. No biggie. And there, perfect. I now have an access port for all my plugs and sockets from underneath, so that if I did want to leave something plugged in for a few days or a few weeks, I could do that quite handily and still have access to it. So putting up the extension lead, easy thing to do there is get a piece of masking tape, put it on the back of your extension lead, figure out where the holes are, take off the tape, stick the tape up on the wall, screw the screws into where the holes are, take the tape away, hang the extension lead up. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So next thing I wanted to do then was grab a couple of rough pieces of wood and kind of start doing up the bench top. So the first thing I wanted to do here was make a little lip around that hole so things wouldn't be falling down there willy-nilly. So that's an easy enough thing to do, couple of straight cuts, take them off, paint them black. I'm just getting used to doing that, like as you do something you paint it black. Then for my extended fence, which is it's about 13 foot long, I took a little rebate off it so that I could put my adhesive tape onto that little rebate. So I kind of found the home for that, took a while to mark that out properly, get it nice and straight, and it's just extended right the way up to my miter saw and got her all hooked in. And then once that was done, I cut a piece of wood about 400mm long. I don't know, what am I saying, about 400, exactly 400mm long. Marked that up with the tape when it was touching off the teeth of the saw, and then extend all the way up along. So here I have a 3 meter sticky tape, and it's great. It's really handy to be able to measure a piece of wood just by putting it up along a counter. For the other end, just snip off the excess little bit and stick down. So I got these T-tracks on Amazon. I think they worked out about 15 quid each. Got 3 of them, so I ended up getting about 2.4 meters in total length, and I got that little red miter stop. It's really handy. I'm hoping for great things. It's going to make a lot of things easier. So get your 3 T-tracks, screw them all down, make sure they're really tight with each other when you're butting them up against each other, so that when you're sliding the miter up and down that it won't be catching on any corners or anything like that. So once you get that in, then you have full control, all 2.4 meters in length. It's ideal. It's going to make it easy work of cutting things to length. So my 2 pieces were dry, bring them in, bit of construction glue, and in they go. Just creating a little lip so things won't be falling down, and they'll be hidden. It's a bit messy behind there. But I had me a bit of a brainwave when it came to the paulk bench. I thought, why am I putting it parallel to the wall? Put it perpendicular to the wall, and then create an island workbench that I can kind of work off. So, what the hell, pulled the trigger on that and off I went. As I was at it, that was a really handy place to be able to put all my clamps. So, put them all on pieces of wood, played around with how could I hang them, where could I hang them. And after messing around with it for a bit, I said, right, there we go. F clamps will go here, so there's a half dozen. So I just wanted to cut out simple little cuts so that the actual shape of the clamp itself would keep it in position. So once that's all marked out, you know where your slots are going to be, over to the miter saw, take your first cut, see if it works. And in this case it wasn't quite deep enough, so did my first one, tested it, didn't like it, could have been deeper, so cut them all that bit deeper. And that's 6 F clamps taken care of. Then I had all my pulley clamps that I wanted to basically find a house for as well, so kind of wanted to put a 2x4 down to everything is no sort of bracing off that, so it needs to be strong. There's a lot of weight when you put a half dozen of each clamp hanging off this thing, it's going to end up being quite heavy, so there needs to be a bit of strength behind it. So I decided to use 2x4, cut out, you know, two little grooves to sit into the frame, keep it nice and flush to the frame, and that just will give it the whole thing a spine. It'll give all the things that are holding the clamp a bit of a spine and something to sort of be strong. So once you figure out where the thing is going to be and where everything will kind of fit in, you mark it, and then I drilled a couple of holes through. Now the reason I drilled the holes through here is because I wanted to screw them in from the back afterwards to make a really good adhesion to that plywood. Because again, like I said, there's going to be quite a bit of weight here. Clamps are heavy. So on he goes, bit of construction glue, and then get your bottom of it in, check all your squares, everything like that, and once you're happy with the location, then send the second fella home, and then rinse and repeat for both sides again. Good and strong. Get the rasp out, just knock off any untidy corners. Again, this will all be painted black. Again, the beauty of black. So now I was trying to get my other clamps, sort of get them a little place, so I was just grabbing offcuts, getting bits and pieces. That one ended up being kind of the right length, so I worked with that. Wanted handles up, thumb simple, quick release. They need to be in that sort of position to be able to use them well and effectively. So it's literally a case of reach down, grab one, pop it off, and use it for whatever you need. Again, drilling my holes so they can be attached in from the back afterwards. Fine tune your location of it. Wanted to make a little support on the other side as well, just to, again, it's all about strength. I just don't want things moving. So once that last piece was in place, all I had to do really was figure out what colour I wanted to paint it, and black just seemed suitable, so decided I'd paint it black. And there it is, black. And I really like it. I like its simplicity, its ruggedness, it's, you know, it's just handy. It's right for me. So I got in underneath and screwed in all those pieces from the back and blew the place out with my new favourite tool, which is a leaf blower. Such an easy way to clean the workshop. Loaded up all my clamps, F-clamps, everything. And she can't complain about that, it's lovely.
Well, I like the way this is turning out. I gotta say, I like having a built-in miter saw with a slidey, mitery, measury thingy. Really like that thing. I have my paulk bench put up on wheels with access to all the big, awkward kind of things that, you know, you kind of normally would have issues of storing. All my clamps. I have my kindling, I have tons of storage underneath here, I have a long surface that I can work on, and then I have open access to whatever types of goodies I want to get underneath. I like this. I like the way this kind of suits my brain. It suits the way I work. And I'm looking forward to continuing. And that's what's over there. Got to get my table saw, my roller table, my lathe, all that sort of area set up over there. And I hope you can join me. I thoroughly appreciate a like. I thoroughly appreciate a subscription. That would be great. And I hope you can join me again. Thank you very much.